Gosh, it feels good to disrupt an industry that's been in place for so long. There's always been this way of thinking that this is how it's done. And to be able to come in freely without any experience, connections to the industry and say, we're doing it differently. That's the whole idea behind Wondry, Wonder and Dream. We're reimagining what's happening here. I'm Chaz Gates.
And I'm Whitney Gates, and we're the co-founders of Wondry, based in Dallas, Texas.
Cheers.
When we got into the wine industry, we were really struck by the fact that the atmosphere seemed very stodgy, pretentious, very conservative.
We like to have fun with wine. We have our fruit-based wines, and you can have your choice, watermelon, peach. We have a fruit punch martini. We have a creamy chocolate martini and a strawberry martini. And it's not stuffy, conservative, where you feel like you have to come with a full book of knowledge.
All of our products are 100% natural. All of the extracts that we use are organic. That means a lot to us.
I just know what tastes good.
That's actually
really
good.
We're on something? Ooh, yeah. Definitely on something with that one.
I think it signals to the industry, to customers, fans, that we are not taking any shortcuts. I grew up with a father who would always say, excellence is the minimum. And so when we put Wondry together, we weren't looking to make cash quickly. We wanted to build a legacy around quality winemaking in a creative and an approachable way. I grew up watching my late uncle making wine out of his garage in Nashville, Tennessee, out of the simplest of ingredients and tools: a glass gallon jug, a nylon glove, and fresh fruit. On Christmas Day, the adults would all be gathering around this gallon jug of this purple substance. I obviously knew nothing about wine at that time, and that inspired me in my early 20s to try to recreate that and build something based on my uncle's legacy. I Googled, how do you make wine? I went to the local grocery store, bought a bunch of ingredients, and it was an utter failure.
After about the third or fourth date, she invited me to her place, and I saw that she had these buckets of wine everywhere. I told her, I said, you remind me of the cat lady, but instead you're the wine lady.
I was practicing making wine for about 8 years at home before I decided that I needed to further hone in on my craft and take formal courses. I've looked very different than a lot of the other classmates. All of them were speaking so articulately about regions, but the beauty behind that is we had such an incredible professor, Andrew Snyder, and he would stop the class and say, I actually think Whitney has a great idea. The idea that you can make a flavored cocktail from a wine base. It's not inherent to wine culture, but this could really stick.
I thought if Andrew, who's a older white guy boomer, loved this idea and he signed off on it, there may be something to this. And so once he was on board and he agreed to come on as a mentor, advisor for us, we knew then that we were building the pieces of something that was going to be big. And she's more successful than any of those snooty duty people anyway now. So.
I worked for about 15 years in consumer goods marketing, but Chaz was very, very supportive of what we were building together. And he's the dreamer out of the two of us. And so he said, I think it's time for you to retire and you go full time with Wondry.
We liquidated our 401ks and we went all in on the business. Whitney started off as the winemaker, and I quickly became kind of an apprentice. I retired from practicing law and I became a full-time moonshiner, doing something that I love. It doesn't feel like work. We walked into Total Wine cold, and luckily the regional manager was there, buyer, and we did our pitch, and that was our first major retailer that we got in, Total Wine. They gave us a chance. And as of today, we're in Target, Walmart, Sam's Club, Trader Joe's, H-E-B.
And I one day just went to Chaz, I said, do you think we should go on Shark Tank? It was such a pivotal moment in our business journey. Retail buyers became aware of our story, and we landed a deal with Mark Cuban. He's given us a lot of really sage advice and opened a lot of critical doors for us. we're on the brink of something big. That's what we say to ourselves every single day, constantly, and that's what is our North Star. It's incredibly challenging juggling all of the responsibilities that we have as parents of two amazing toddler boys. We don't ever want them to feel like they are second thoughts. But then in the back of my mind, I'm hearing my dad say, excellence is the minimum. At this point, there's no balance. We're working towards that. I always think about our ancestors and how hard they fought for this freedom, for us to be able to wake up every day and pursue our passion and to be able to sell our product in stores nationwide. So there is no plan B. Excellence is the minimum.
You pour your heart and soul into this. And it's the same every time I see a bottle of Wondry in the store or someone talking about it. You have this extreme feeling of being blessed, that you're blessed with this opportunity and you can't squander it.